I'm not your gossip girl, I'm the headline. Truth with a curve, baby, redefine. Welcome to the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. We talk love, power, soul, and sin. Turn the world on, let the light in. Yeah, the thirst trap news. You'll drink it up, it's the real you. Paper China, first real news, where every headline's a revelation.
Over there, so they're gonna work on a Rumble. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go through my opening monologue, and okay, they got it going. Perfect. Okay, so welcome. I'm here in the afternoon. Can you believe it? I am not on late at night. Some of you get to see me. That probably has really always missed the live stream. How many of you watch after I've live stream and you look at the YouTube or Rumble upload? Let me know in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, America, sit down, buckle up, hydrate, light some sage, whatever you need to do. Because tonight's show is not cute, it's not casual, and it damn sure is not comfortable. Because today we're stepping into the kind of truth that gets powerful people sweating through their suits. I'm reviewing Candace Owens' latest live stream. Yeah, the one from yesterday. And baby, she did not just drop the tea, she dropped confessions, receipts, timelines, screenshots, footage, logic, and courage wrapped in an eyeliner and a microphone. This was not commentary. This wasn't speculation. This was a forensic breakdown of probably the biggest cover-up we've seen in years. And let me tell you right now, anytime the government is this quiet, anytime the media blinks rapidly and tries to change the subject, anytime officials suddenly lose access to information they already have, yeah, it means they're hiding something enormous. And Candace Owens, she just tore the veil clean off. Her live stream made one thing unavoidably clear. That Charlie Kirk was not just attacked, he was betrayed. The very people who were supposed to protect him. Yeah, Brian Harpool, talking to you. The people wearing the badges, the people holding the radios, the people whose one single job was to keep him alive, were part of the machinery that delivered him into danger. Let that sink in. Not incompetence, not coincidence, not a tragic loophole, intent, coordination, cooperation with the shadows. You don't need a PhD in psychology or criminology to see what's obvious. Charlie didn't just fall through the cracks. He fell through a trap. And as Candace laid out piece by piece, the government, yeah, our government, has been covering it up. Just like they did with JFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. But like they cover the surveillance failures. Just like they cover the intel leaks. Just like they cover every scandal that threatens the structure of the establishment. But this time they slipped. This time receipts made it out. This time people ratted. People squealed. This time a woman with a spine made of steel and a brain sharper than every agency combined said, "No, I'm not afraid. I'm not shutting up. And I won't let America be blindfolded." Candace Owens has done what no one in elected office, no one in mainstream media, and no one in leadership has had the guts to do. She exposed the establishment with evidence that the public can actually see. She connected the dots that the government pretended didn't exist. She called out the security failures of the FBI that they hoped we'd forget. She laid out the timeline the agencies refused to release. She did it without trembling, without apologizing, without bending her head to the ruling class that wants this buried 6 feet under. And let's be honest, our government has become the greatest source of misery in this country, not because they're incompetent, but because they're operating with intentions that do not serve the American people. We're watching the abuse of power in real time. We're watching deception being used like currency, and we're watching institutions meant to protect us become institutions designed to silence us. And if it weren't for Candace, we wouldn't have any of this on record. This is why America needs people like her in office. Not because she's perfect, not because she's popular, but because she's the only person in this entire political sphere who actually exposes the machine, withstands the attacks, and keeps receipts that make grown men in the establishment panic. We don't need more polished liars. We don't need more whispering bureaucrats. And we don't need more smiling actors pretending to care. We need someone who is not owned, someone who cannot be bought, someone who does not break under pressure, someone who, when the government hides the truth, walks straight into the fire and pulls it out herself. Candace Owens has proven again and again that she's the first person to successfully and fearlessly crack the establishment open with actual evidence, not just theories, not just vibes, real evidence. So tonight, well, I keep saying tonight. I'm so used to my show being at night. Today, we are going deep into her next video, and I am in shock at what was revealed. I am not in shock that no one in the FBI is responding to her. I am not in shock that the White House is not caring. I am not in shock. I totally understand what is going on now. And this Charlie Kirk thing really might be the divine catalyst that brings forth the end times, like what is prophesied. I mean, it might be because of what, it might not. But my opinion is it has enough weight to it to actually move us into it. So let's get into the video. Daniel, I hope you can hear. Everything's showing okay from my end. Maybe try restarting your, if you're on Instagram, I would try restarting it. Let me pull it up on my phone just to make sure that it's good streaming, because let's see. All right, let's hit my name. Okay, yeah, I'm totally good. I can hear everything, so we're good to go. All right, let's begin this video. Y'all just remove your emotions. Go into this neutral. Don't react to your first initial gut feelings or emotional spikes. Really just listen. Listen to this. And I encourage you to go watch Brian Harpool after this. If you have not seen him on Sean Ryan's episode, I watched that when it aired. I knew he was lying. I'm a psychologist, specifically forensically. I'm very good at detecting lies, very good at detecting skewed perceptions. I knew he was lying. Not just with my intuition, but also with the evidence that all the sleuths have been putting forward. So let's get into it.
All right, you guys, happy Tuesday. Where to begin? Well, in the final days leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination, Charlie was pretty busy, right? He went on a first-time trip to Asia, quite a quick trip, at least a quick turnaround to go.
How you doing? Actually, I got to go through the chat and say hi to everybody. Hey, Williams. Hey, Real John. Kane. Your memory man. John Swallows. That name always gets me every time I see him pop in the chat. Kona. How are you doing? Phobos, Lobos, Foxtrot. How you guys doing? Good to see you in the daytime. All right, here we go.
So first to Korea for a couple of days and then off to Japan. And honestly, if I was a conspiracy theorist, and I kind of am one, I might think at this stage that the timing of that trip might have been intentional because something was going on back home that they didn't want him to see. Well, what I'm about to tell you guys today is going to positively blow your mind. I just cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination, but I'm just going to deliver the facts and see where they land. Welcome back to Candace.
This is wild. Hey, Samir, Yazzie, Bruce, Frank.
I am just going to tell you guys exactly
Hey,
how
Woodrow.
everything came about, everything that I'm about to deliver to you. Yesterday was a holy day of obligation in the Catholic Church. It was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. A day of obligation means that a day in which you are required to attend Mass outside of, obviously, typically Sundays. And so as soon as we concluded this podcast, I grabbed my jacket and I ran out the door, okay?
Hi, Siga. Hi, can no one fuck with me? Hey, baby, how you doing?
And as I was sitting through Mass, deciding, I guess what was on my mind
Hey, JK Ultra, 89.
to pray about, for whatever reason, I got on my knees and I was not expecting this to come out, but I just focused my prayer on wanting something to be delivered to me, a piece of evidence that would help us put together the full picture of this assassination. Obviously, we all know that what we are being told is not true. We all know that nothing that we have been presented with makes any practical sense. But there are sort of smoking guns in this that are missing, right? It's one thing to point out all the lies, but we need to also have solid, concrete proof of something that took place that was out of the ordinary in the days leading up, maybe, I don't know, a planning session. Well, I got back home after this very intentional prayer.
So I don't know about you guys, but I definitely believe in the power of prayer, petition, whatever you fucking want to call it. I don't care. I'm obviously not Catholic. I'm a Christian Wiccan. So I'm not going to knock her, because if God speaks to her through Catholicism, that's fine. But like, I totally feel this when she's talking, saying like about the prayer. And a lot of us, before we get spiritual and really learn to hear the voice of God, we pray and then we think we're not getting answers. But really what it is we just don't have a trained eye and ears to know how to receive the answers. So let's just keep listening.
And did my routine, had a very late dinner, went up and said goodnight to the kids, got myself ready for bed, sat in bed, and I thought, you know what, I'm just
Hey, Frank, thank you. I appreciate you coming through for the support. And absolutely, Phobos, amen.
going to open the tips box.
Let me
and
back
I kid
this
you
up
not
just
when
a
I say
little
that
bit.
it was the very out to all the lies, but we need to also have solid, concrete proof of something that took place that was out of the ordinary.
So she is praying at Mass, trying to figure out, like, what am I going to pray about? Obviously, this is the only thing on her mind. And she's asking God, like, I need hard, concrete evidence, like hardcore. I need to wrap this up. I need to button this up. I'm just at the edge. Please give me what is needed to sew this up tight.
Ordinary in the days leading up,
What's
maybe,
up, King?
I don't know, a planning session. Well, I got back home after this very intentional prayer and did my routine, had a very late dinner, went up and said goodnight to the kids, got myself ready for bed, sat in bed, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to open the tips box. And I kid you not when I say that it was the very first email that I saw, the very first email that I opened up. And it really didn't have any details. It was a young woman, and she said, you really should call my friend. It is absolutely urgent, and he has information that you need to hear. And don't tell me why. I don't know what came over me, but maybe it was this intentional prayer. I said, I'm just going to call him right now. 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes after.
AR-15. Candace is literally going to save our party, because before this, it was facturing. fracturing, because there is a difference now between being MAGA and truly America first. MAGA has become Trump's cult, and those of us who are truly America first are America only. And what we are realizing with this Candace thing is really truly how deep, with this Charlie and Candace thing, how deep the rabbit hole fucking goes. You got to just listen to this episode, because if you want to save our party, you need to listen to Candace. You need to go back to square one from all her lives about Charlie. You need to sit there self-disciplined and need to listen to her. You can't just jump on the train of, yeah, she's crazy, without listening to her. You have to listen to everything. And if you're an honest human being, you will come to the same realizations that everyone else who left TPUSA after Charlie died has come to realize. There's a reason why that podcast has tanked and Candace's has skyrocketed to number one, because she's on the fucking blood trail. And she really, what she's going to show you tonight should fucking rock you to your core. Because if we want to save our party, we have got to get the snakes out of the White House, out of Capitol Hill. They need to be gone. These perverted, disgusting, demonic people that are on both sides, and they have you confused on what it means to be conservative, to be on the right. It shouldn't even be a right and left thing. This is fucking America. We deserve transparency. We deserve to not be gaslit when we know the fucking FBI narrative is a lie. The government knows, we all know about JFK and how it was a complete CIA operation, but this one, it wasn't, you guys. This one was not. Y'all, yeah, sure, whatever. If we want to save our party, we need to acknowledge what the hell she is saying. Because what's wrong with our party is the fact that Israel has taken over all of our politicians. That's what's fucking wrong. And if you are still not looking at what Israel has done to fuck up our country, I'm sorry, you will never figure out how to save our party.
After this email hit my inbox, I was calling this person and I had no idea what it was going to lead to, whether it was going to be a totally insane person or whether or not it was going to be a very swiftly answered prayer. The person that I spoke with, his name is or was Harry, and he told me a story.
Y'all pay attention to this. I'm telling
I have
you.
since fact-checked various elements.
It's not Candace that we're paying
fact-check.
attention to. What are you not understanding? We are paying attention to what she is saying about who the fuck killed Charlie Kirk. That is what we're paying attention to, because that Charlie Kirk is literally the reason why JD Vance, Trump, and we are in the position that we're in now, right now, in the White House. He is the one that did the work. He's the one that got the youth vote for Trump. We are not paying attention to Candace. We are paying attention to what she is saying about what happened to Charlie, because it is fucking critical.
And it's legit. This is
It is
a legit
legit.
story that I'm about to share with you. I want to say before I relay it that the descriptions of the people are based off of his own memory, but the facts pertaining to where he was, whether he was where he says he was,
Hey, Daniel.
for the reasons that he says that he was there, he is being honest. Okay. I can tell you that he is being 100% honest, and you are free to look further into this. I am certain he is going to probably be doing a lot of interviews in the near future. I can also factually state that there was an incident report. So this was recorded, and what transpired on September 8th that caught him by surprise was something that he thought was a part of a broader military conspiracy against him. He could not fully comprehend why what was happening. Okay, so let's start actually 35 years ago, because you need to know who this man is. In 1990, this young man named Harry Myers discovered something that would shape the next 3 decades of his life. Okay, he was at the bottom of the military chain. He was just 20 years old, and he was put on what was actually a brand new command, the first ever Joint Task Force 6. And this new command was being created down at the border by President George H.W. Bush, and it was presented to the American public as, look, a war on drugs. with the help of Colin Powell. And it should be noted that this took place.
Y'all gotta bear with me. I have such a bad migraine, and I'm trying to not let it ruin my day and like get me off my routine. But I'm in so much pain right now. So, and I've got this bright light in my face. So just bear with me.
Place just to kind of get you back into what was going on at the beginning of the 1990s. This took place just after the Iran-Contra affair, right? The Iran-Contra affair was from, I think, 1981 to 1986, happened under Reagan. And for those of you who are not read into massive CIA scandals, this was the scandal when the American public got to learn that our CIA was actually trafficking drugs and weapons throughout South America. A scandal which, if you guys have followed our Epstein series, we now know that he was also involved in the Iran-Contra scandal. It essentially shook the foundation of Reagan's White House. And during that time, during Reagan's tenure, George H.W. Bush was the vice president, okay, throughout this scandal. So when George H.W. Bush then decided that he was going to run as a president of the United States, and he did run and he ran in 1988, just a couple of years following that affair, he had to really hit hard on drugs at the border, and declare that this White House was going to do all that it could to stop these drugs from flooding into America. Take a listen to him saying what they were going to be cracking down on.
This is crack cocaine, seized a few days ago by drug enforcement agents in a park just across the street from the White House.
Y'all, when I saw this scene last night, it fucking hit me. I was like, this certainly looks familiar, doesn't it?
It could easily have been heroin or PCP. It's as innocent looking as candy, but it's turning our cities into battle zones, and it's murdering.
What does this sound like? What just happened? What does this look like? This is the shenanigans. They repeat. It's repeat. And it works to redo it every few decades because the people that were alive then died. Now it's us here. And we don't have the past in our memory. We only read about it. The war on drugs. Yes, there you go, Foxtrot. It's a playbook. This is a playbook.
Our children. Let there be no mistake. This stuff is poison.
So you hear the directive from the then president, H.W. Now, our protagonist in the story is Harry, right? He's 20 years old, and he's at the bottom of the military totem pole, and he gets attached to this new command, this new Southern Command. Previously, there had never been that joint task force, and specifically, he was a part of an operation that came to be known as Operation Catacomb. He describes himself, and I'm going to put this in quotations, as a lowly military censor guy assigned to this Joint Task Operation 6, and they were to cover half of Arizona and Mexico. And I'm going to read this next portion of his story directly from him, okay? And I quote, "In just 6 days, I planted sensors, translated data, and skipped the chain of command and gave proof of the existence and pinpointed the location of the first ever discovered Sinaloa cartel underground rail tunnel. By passing directly through to lower Border Patrol agents, I skipped command and directly, a Border Patrol agent was able to skip his command and directly sought a warrant to raid the tunnel, which avoided tipping off any compromised commanders that were working with the cartel. Thus, why it resulted in such a big bust. Most importantly, it did not give time to remove photos that were on the walls on the Mexican side. Where our Joint Task Commander, who was a high-ranking Border Patrol, was actually in the photos in that house, posing with El Chapo and Felipe, his architect. And there were other U.S. Marine officers and Mexican law enforcement officers and military that were in those photos, okay, end quote. So just to be clear, He discovers this tunnel, somehow skips the chain of command. Now they find this massive tunnel and, oh, wait, why are military commanders and high up people in the military in pictures with El Chapo? What's going on here? I'm going to pause here to let you see an old news clip regarding this explosive discovery that Harry made.
The tunnel was called one of the most sophisticated drug smuggling schemes authorities have ever seen. Using jackhammers and torches, federal agents broke into the concrete reinforced tunnel at a warehouse in Douglas, Arizona. 30 feet underground, agents walked for 100 yards through the 5-foot-high tunnel. It took them under the Mexican border to a house in Agua Prieta. There, they found an air compressor, a sump pump, a small trolley car, and a hydraulic jack. It was used to lift up the floor inside the living room of the house, where the smugglers would start their illegal trip to the U.S.
That is some...
Authorities said when the tunnel wasn't being...
This is like shit you see in the movies, like this sophisticated smuggling system. And keep in mind, this kid that found the tunnel, just a kid, went into the military just on an assignment. You become a government issue, a GI, once you join the military. You are the government's property. I want you guys to listen to what happens to this man. Thank you. Because of this discovery. I mean, you think you're joining the military to serve your country, and then your government completely turns on you to hush you and take away the threat of you exposing them.
Being used for drug running. The smugglers would flood it with water.
Let's say we came over here with some technology trying to detect this. It would look like an underground stream if it was flooded.
Federal agents said the tunnel cost at least $1 million to build and had probably been in operation for 6 months to a year. Last November, customs agents received a tip that a sophisticated tunnel was being used to funnel cocaine into the United States.
This type of tunnel is not an amateur operation. It's a highly sophisticated engineering feat that took place.
Mexican authorities were also involved in the investigation and the raid. Earlier this month, police seized 2,000 pounds of cocaine, which they said came into the U.S. through the tunnel. The drugs were headed for Southern California.
And what's not said in that news clip is there were pictures of United States military men in that house. What happens next is predictable given what we now know. Harry's superiors take the credit for the bust, and he's going to continue what happens. I'm going to, again, quote him verbatim. Quote, on the surface, I was given a small reward, an Army medal. I have the write-ups for those awards.
AR, I know you're so right. I've often imagined like what is really going on below the surface of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Irish, I am in a horrible migraine attack, and I'm trying my best to be my normal self for you guys. Maybe I can get production to bring my sunglasses because I have this bright light in my eyes, and it's really just torturous.
Awards mentioning me and my critical role in this mission's success. That said, U.S. Border Patrol members who recognized me as being the agent responsible for the bust did not like seeing that I wasn't being appreciated more and resented my higher-ups for taking the credit for the discovery. Somehow, in the immediate days after the bust, prior to the United States side getting the photos from the Mexican authorities, my information was given to the cartels. In continuing the mission, me and one Border Patrol agent were sent to Naco, Arizona, where I was approached by a cartel member confirming my identification by rattling off my mother's name, address, my high school, my friends, everything listed in my clearance packet, which was supposed to be locked in the custody of the Joint Task Force 6 commander, whose picture was with El Chapo and about to be discovered. We avoided being taken hostage or shot, sneaking away and driving out of that little town. I was taken back to Fort Huachuca with the U.S. Border Patrol agent I was with, believing, since I was just a young 20-year-old, that I must have somehow compromised my own ID. The next day, I had a debrief with the Army Criminal Investigation Division and a prosecutor from Tucson, Arizona, informing me of how my ID became compromised. I was told that I was then going to be put in witness protection, My orders restricted me from any further work in counter narcotics, from being stationed on or south of the border, and it prevented me from working with Border Patrol. It was a Band-Aid while they prepared and got approval for me to be put into witness protection. Also, to protect me, the mission and the prosecutions, I was also put under an NDA gag order.
I can only eat like stuff that's easy on my stomach when I have a migraine. So it was hard-boiled eggs. That's what we're having.
Order, which was dated out, okay, look, it says 1990, to May of 2025 to prevent me from mentioning this entire ordeal. The witness protection entrance never happened. The ball got dropped. I never got contacted for it. From what we uncovered, a deal was made with the compromised U.S. Border Patrol agent.
Remember, they immediately extracted Tyler Robinson's family and forced them into witness protection. And you know what? Once that happens, you never get out of it. You are forced to be completely hidden. So you don't rat.
Commander. Okay, so let's pause and just recap there very quickly. And I'm going to tell you what this has to do with Charlie Kirk, okay? So I guess in a sentence, a young military man did his job excellently. He accidentally stumbled upon, or actually, accidentally stumbled upon the fact that our government was implicated, not in fighting the cartels, but working with the cartels. And suddenly he realizes after some time that the government then feeds him, or somebody spitefully, perhaps his commander, fed him to the cartels. And now he's on the run for his life. What happens over the course of the next 35 years is he's hacked. He says that he goes through abusive litigation. He is harassed. He says there are narco attorneys that attack his.
That happened to me. Listen to what she's saying. They attacked his credit. They happened. That all, I believe this man, because when I was running for Congress, everything that this man went through, I went through from my own party, because I'm not establishment bloodline. I'm a patriot and we the people. So they fucking wanted us out. Yes, Michael, I have my Cyclops eyes on. My migraine, the only thing that helps when I have a migraine, like when my eyes are affected like this, is like peach, yellow, like orange or red lenses, because it softens, it takes all the blue light out. Although it's smashing against my eyelashes. You love my big lips. Thank you. People keep thinking that I have injections in them and I don't. It's just good makeup tricks. No more food on my lip.
Credits. He has police records, by the way, for all of this. He has presented evidence for this. But throughout a certain point in time, these police records were virtually disappeared. He had been reporting that hitmen were coming after him. He had names. This was a 35 years long ordeal. He now has all of his paperwork thanks to some county clerks who did the right thing and were able to dig up these records. But you name it, this man has lived it throughout the last 35 years, okay? Fast forward to May of 2025, May of this year, and Harry Myers, who now has a new name, by the way, which I'm not saying, but he is finally released from this 35-year military-grade NDA. So what does this now 56-year-old decide to do?
Slayer just asked if I'm a metal chick. Yes, I am. How'd you know? I actually front an all-guy metal band. I'm the lead singer of a band called Dreams of a Metal Moon. It's funny, you could tell. Maybe it's the tats.
He decides that he's going to confront his past. He wants answers, okay? He wants to know why he was never protected. He wants to know if the FBI had been informed, and if so, which they were supposed to be, why they didn't do their job. Why didn't they protect Harry? He was working for the military and he did his job. he makes up his mind that he's going to deal with this in person. He is going to travel from his home in Washington back down to the very base where this all began, right? To Fort Huachuca, in Arizona. He's going to revisit the past. He's going to get these answers. He books himself
gonna have
stay.
to go there after basic training when I was joining the army to Fort Huachuca to learn a Middle Eastern language, take the D-Lab.
In a hotel on the base, a military hotel known as Candlewood Suites. And this is on the evening of September 8th. I want you to remember that, okay? He has been so thorough. He has sent me timestamps, bookings, reservations, went through his call logs. I was like, I want you to pinpoint when everything happened. So he gets to the Candlewood Suites at approximately, on September 8th, 5:37 p.m., checks into the hotel. And you can imagine he's a person that pays a lot of attention to his surroundings, right? When the cartels are after you and your family.
Yep.
And you are compelled to change.
That's how I got when I was running for Congress. And even for a couple years after, I was just constantly looking over my shoulder because they were following me. And I just, like, for a while had such a habit of knowing every car that was around me, knowing everyone walking by me. I knew everything going on in a room.
Your name, you pay attention to your surroundings.
Yeah, you do.
See if anybody looks shady.
Yes, you do.
What he notices is somebody who is special forces in the lobby. He said, "Do you
Getting
just
good.
know
Here
when
we
you're dealing
go."
with the special forces guy?" And he is in the lobby, and a young woman, comes down thereafter. That young woman, who at the time he did not recognize, is with him. They kind of fluff around in the lobby while he's checking in. He's on the phone with his wife. And thereafter, the two of them get into a green pickup truck and they drive off. Okay. The next morning, now we're September 9th, he wakes up at around 5:30 a.m. in the morning because he wants to see the sunrise. He says that he then fails at finding the Army Criminal Investigations Department. So he drives off base, just a little ways off base, to get some coffee in Sierra Vista. While getting that coffee, he runs into some soldiers. Again, this is just all God at this point, who happen to be wearing 10th Mountain Division patches. And he's like, that's my old unit. What's going on here? Like that, he thinks his unit's gone. Nothing's going on with this unit for a long time. That it's been torn apart, or I don't know what the military expression is for that. He strikes up a conversation with these young guys, and they tell him, "Oh, no. The old Joint Task Force 6 is now being continued, and it's known as JTF, Joint Task Force Southern Border." Now, for those of you who are like me who don't know, like literally what it sounds like, Joint Task Force, meaning like you can get the Army, Navy, everybody kind of working together on something. And they're like, yeah, it's now JTF Southern Border. And they give him directions of how he can actually get to the new command center. They tell them that they're actually currently borrowing a building down there. And he tells me that there would have been no other way he would have discovered where it was. So his intention was to go to Army CID. Now he's like, wow, I can go directly to the actual JTF 6, which is now being continued, and get some answers. What luck. It is now around 7:37 a.m. when he enters the new or temporary JTF headquarters. And he sees two guys, and he's pretty impressed. He's like, whoa, these are, again, military term, E4, E5s. He told me that means that they're...
Thank you, Ryan and Rumble, for the tip and the compliment on my glasses. What is it called? Like when you guys send money on Rumble, like what is it called when you donate? Appreciate you. Thank you for the support.
They're lieutenant colonels, and they are the ones that are checking him in. He happens to walk in at the exact time that they are concluding a meeting, and he is kind of even more impressed because he sees about 12 lieutenant colonels. He tells me, you do not see that many people, that many E4s, E5s, E6s.
Could you imagine that? That's like, what did y'all just come out the war room? Like, what's going on?
Please, military guys, forgive me for me not knowing what the proper vernacular. But he just goes, well, what's going on? He's like, you don't see this unless you're at the Pentagon or you're at the White House. You just don't see this many high up the food chain lieutenant colonels. He's going, man, this is a pretty important meeting. And then he sees 3 men walk out, one of which is the person he identifies as the person that's the center of the action, right? He said you could just tell this is the most important person. And he has gray hair. He's got glasses. I believe he said that he's about 5'10". And at this point, he sees that the person that is with him, and he said, certain that the person that is with him is Brian Harpel. Yeah.
Look, y'all.
Okay.
Did y'all hear that? Look at whose face this man recognized. Now, when he's going through all these things, he's not knowing to take a mental note of people's faces. It's just after Charlie died, then you start seeing everyone doing all their interviews, all their pressers, this, that, and the other. And he's going, oh my God, I saw that face right there with those fucking 11 colonel, whatever, high-ranking people, lieutenant colonels. They're like, seriously, Brian Harpel, the day before. Remember, Charlie was in Asia the day before. Okay? So he wasn't there to see what Mr. Brian Harpel was doing at Fort Huachuca, meeting with decorated, high-ranking military officials. This motherfucker right here. This man, I knew when he was doing that Sean Ryan episode, I said, those tears are a guilty conscience, and I don't know why, but I feel it. I just feel it. This is who that man saw the day before Charlie got shot, meeting with these generals, Charlie's head of security. And he told him, some people at TPUSA, Candace, and I would assume, safe to say, Erica Kirk. The day before, he told everyone that he thought they were going to murder him the following day at that event. And if I was Charlie and I saw I'm set up in the amphitheater, I'd have been like, no. Indoors.
Oh, it's about to get even more interesting. So,
but what's crazy is Charlie wouldn't have said move it indoors because this is divine. This is divine plan. We need martyrs sometimes to wake people up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, someone's saying CIA operative. It's very clear, like, once you realize that you have someone in a company that is able to persuade thousands and millions of people, well, it's either take our money and join us or you're dead. Last night we showed the video, or the night before, of a 30-06 hitting a replica human neck. And I'm telling you, that shit fucking exploded and his head fell off.
and again, I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there, but I have spoken to this guy and I very much trust what he is saying. I think he is very credible, okay? So he sees Brian Harpel come out, this older guy, and he has, what then happens is first the guys that are checking him in are friendly. He explains to them, yeah, this is what happened to me. I just want to speak to somebody. They're like, yeah, let me help you. Then all of a sudden after Brian, who he believes to be Brian Harpel, who he's not obviously recognized at that time, he would not have known that was Brian Harpel, but he remembers him, obviously, because then the biggest political assassination since JFK happens. Suddenly, somebody hits the panic button and two captains come out and they escort him out of the building and they begin what becomes a 7-hour interrogation.
What?
Okay. They think he's a spy. How did you rumble this meeting? How did you know this meeting was taking place? He's getting asked a bunch of questions. They're putting pressure on him. They're gaslighting him. I actually want to, if you give me a second, I want to read exactly what he messaged me about what took place.
Get your phone, baby. We want to hear it.
It's incredible. It's actually just incredible how he describes what their strategy here of attempting to gaslight him into believing that he was a spy or that he was working for somebody. And he's like, no, I'm just here over an incident that happened 35 years ago. I'm trying to get answers regarding it, and they're putting pressure on him.
This poor man goes to solve the one conspiracy he's involved in just to find himself involved in another one. Like, talk about divine fucking timing. The whole thing. How did all that cartel shit connect to Charlie? It's so crazy to think, like, 30 something years ago, every decision that man made, what he was going to eat, what time he went to bed, you know, while he's driving, I'm going to go take this left instead of this right at the last minute. Like, everything he did led up to this moment. This is just wild to me. This is so wild. And you can't explain this other than God.
I'm going to write this verbatim. He says he's being interrogated.
Thank you, Backwater. I have a horrible migraine, so they're popping on and off to help me with softening the light in my eyes.
He is, quote, being accused of being a bomb threat because I was special forces in the military, EOD in the military. They then attempted to try to gaslight me to see if they could angle an accusation of me being a threat to others or myself. When all of that fell flat, they then conferenced with base commander after I assumed they verified that I was not there to spy on that particular meeting. They decided it was okay to send me off post. That's when I drove a Tucson. I got a room. The next morning, I turned in my rental car. I got on a plane back home, and I had to stop in Salt Lake. Upon landing and turning on the phone, my wife is telling me about Charlie Kirk. And again, this was just a coincidence. I happened to be in the airport at the time that you are talking about all of those strange flights that were taking place there. I did not notice anything helpful other than the fact that the airport was not very crowded. So after 7 hours, he explains to me that they were going to, they debated holding him for 48 hours for this perceived, perhaps maybe bomb threat spy thing that's happening. And he's thinking, can you imagine this? They're paranoid, but he's paranoid and thinking, oh my gosh, this is more like Sinaloa cartel stuff. And I'm being treated like this because I've wanted to speak out about this story for 35 years. Both of them are wrong. Okay. Both of them are wrong. This really is just a coincidence. And
it's not even a rabbit hole anymore. It's literally fucking divine intervention. Y'all, we are watching. Oh my God. I really wish it hit people. The gravity of what we are watching. We are watching prophecy, history. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive, folks.
And that he got the commander's name. That obviously that questioned him for this long. He says this was the guy that was in charge, the commander. And he said he was approximately 36 years old. He had brown hair, the one I'm talking about that was leading the charge on asking him all the questions and interrogating him.
Listen.
And that his name was Captain Neff.
Oh!
I'm going.
Whoa.
Now,
no.
I have the same question that you have. Because I've looked and it does seem that, and I never even questioned this, whether or not it's potential that Blake Neff has military connections as well. Like, I guess that kind of like.
Blake fucking Neff. How common is the last name Neff? And if you haven't put it together by now, through all of this investigation she's done, Turning Point USA was infiltrated by the military. What does the military do? Come on, guys. Allow yourself to go down those holes because things will start clicking. The contradictions will stop. Now things are making sense. This episode is substantial.
I just thought this is the producer of Charlie Kirk show, but it is interesting that somebody, and this would be brother, cousin, I don't know. This is the person that interrogated him. And eventually he says was a person that had a heart and realized that he was not a part of any spy network and eventually escorted him off of the base and onto his way. That's a lot of coincidence for me. Now he says to me, communicated this to me very clearly. He said, Candace, I know how these meetings work. These are the meetings that are had ahead of an operation. Like when an operation is being confirmed, you have these final meetings and they involve all of the higher ups and you are trying to do this in a very isolated location where, you know, people are not going to accidentally happen upon you because they've got
Except
something
for
to
that
say
guy.
about what happened 35 years ago. And
Jeez.
that is what he happened upon. And
What?
I don't know what to make of this information other than he feels that he then recognized these people. He feels certain that he recognized these people in the days following.
I'm still just in shock that the general's last name was Neff. Come on, let it sink in, man. Let it fucking sink in. Cheapy USA got raided by the military.
Charlie Kirk's assassination, when a bunch of people are doing Fox News, and obviously then we've got a massive event at a stadium, and everybody is in front of the camera
Let me back it up to
eulogizing
just a little.
him, and you are trying to do this in a very isolated location where, you know, people are not going to accidentally happen upon you because they've got something to say about what happened 35 years ago.
Right.
And that is what he happened upon. And I don't know what to make of this information other than he feels that he then recognized these people. He feels certain that he recognized these people in the days following Charlie Kirk's assassination, when a bunch of people are doing Fox News, and obviously then we've got a massive event at a stadium, and everybody is in front of the camera eulogizing him. He feels confident that he recognizes these people, and that needs to be shared.
Yeah, it does.
He's willing to tell a story. Like I said, I have verified. He has sent me so many documents.
I mean, she literally just called out the United States military. She's really this woman is willing to lose her life for this. And I'm telling you right now, I wish she would run for president.
Everything from his high school graduation certificate to his military documents to the police records to everything that he's speaking about that happened back then, NDAs, judges, things that he's been in court with fighting just to get out his story of what happened 35 years ago when he did the right thing, when he stumbled upon. And boy, does he have some luck. Boy, does he have some luck that he goes
right
from one government conspiracy to what he now believes he stumbled upon, which would be another government conspiracy. Okay. He said that this commander, Neff, by the way, was the commander of force protection. Best he could tell, he did not get the first name. He did get an incident number, which I should have had prepared for you, but I can find it here in our chat because he sent me that too. He said there would have been no record for this if they didn't swarm me as if there was a bomb threat, because now, of course, there is an actual incident report, and he believes that this can be FOIA requested.
Yeah, and backwater.
This report number, fucking, if you will bear with me,
here we go.
I'm going
incident
to read
number
that to you all because I think this is going to take really the whole world to investigate. It is 8611-2025-MPC 446. So that is the report number that was given to him by this.
Did you guys hear what the report is called?
An incident number.
Hold on, let's back up because we're going to Google this.
That he recognizes these people, and that needs to be shared. he's willing to tell a story. Like I said, I have verified. He has sent me so many documents, everything from his like high school graduation certificate to his military documents to the police records to everything that he's speaking about that happened back then, NDAs, judges, things that he's been in court with fighting just to get out his story of what happened 35 years ago when he did the right thing, when he stumbled upon. And boy, does he have some luck. Boy, does he have some luck.
Sorry, I backed up a
that
bit.
he goes from one government conspiracy to what he now believes he stumbled upon, which would be another government conspiracy. Okay. He said that this commander, Neff, by the way, was the commander of force protection. Best he could tell, he did not get the first name. He did get an incident number, which I should have had prepared for you, but I can find it here.
Forest
in
protection.
Our chat.
Let's just
'cause he
see
sent
what
me
we
that
can
too.
pull up. Let's see what we can pull up. So let's go and let's search commander. I'm assuming it's Neff. Oh, look, Arizona. Charlie Kirk. All right. Incident report. All right. So it's going to be 8611 -2025 MP C446, and this is the forest. Is that how you spell forest? Protection. Oh my God, y'all. I hate this keyboard. Blake Neff rejects Candace Owens' offer to join TPUSA's live stream. That's the Times of India. So you can see they're showing it as Blake Neff rejects it. Everyone here in the US and all the Israeli simps keep saying Candace Owens is the one that is doing the fuckery, but I don't think so. Ooh, here we go. X, a 35-year military whistleblower, Harry Myers, walked into, we're saying allegedly because, okay, here we go, I see the incident report number in there. It says last night Candace dropped the most explosive 30 minutes of the entire Charlie Kirk investigation. A 35-year military whistleblower, Harry Myers, walked into a classified final planning meeting at Fort Huachuca, Arizona on September 9th. 12 lieutenant colonels were in that room. The TPUSA security contractor, Brian Harpool, walked out with a gray-haired boss, and the officer who personally interrogated Harry for 7 straight hours, accusing him of being a spy and a bomb threat, is Captain Neff. Candace begged us, help me find out who this Captain Neff is, and we did in less than 24 hours. Ooh, his name allegedly is Captain, possibly newly promoted Lieutenant Colonel Daniel R. Neff, and he is the first cousin of none other than Blake motherfucking Neff, Charlie Kirk's longtime producer at Turning Point USA. Holy shit. And JR is saying that WFF, I don't know what that means, just dropped news that Blake Neff was an informant for a lieutenant colonel from 2016 to 2020. Weird about that meeting in Tucson, huh? Wow. Here's the receipt trail, publicly available, no classified leaks. Commissioned U.S. Army 2007 ROTC Distinguished Graduate, top 7% nationally. Out of Pennsylvania, pinned second lieutenant by his parents in a ceremony, saluted at the World War II veteran uncle, initial assignment, Aviation Branch, Fort Rucker, now Fort Novosel, helicopter training. Currently specializes in current specialty aligns with force protection, base security, the exact role that Harry described. He's between the ages of 38 and 39 and matches the description that Harry gave. Families from Pennsylvania, Nazareth Corridor. As Blake Neff, visual match to the photos now circulating is damn near identical. The man who allegedly ran the 7-hour investigation to cover the tracks of the meeting that Harry believes greenlit Charlie Kirk's assassination is allegedly the blood cousin of the guy who sat 10 feet from Charlie Kirk every single fucking day as his producer, Blake Neff. Oh my God, y'all. If we do not wake up about Israel and America and what the fuck they're doing. Candace said last night, I think God is moving. Tonight, the community answered that prayer in 24 hours. TPUSA and Tyler Boyer, Blake Neff, your December 15th quote unquote tell all live stream just got a mandatory guest, Captain Daniel R. Neff. The American people want to know what your producer's cousin was allegedly running security for the meeting that happened 24 hours before Charlie Kirk was executed. Ooh, let's see. Harry Myers risked his life walking into that room. We just found the man who tried to bury him for it. Here's Blake Neff. Remember, he's the one who responded to Candace. And here is the supposed lieutenant colonel, what could be a lower rank, Daniel Neff. There they are. Isn't this weird how we are not, is anybody hearing anything about this? It's funny. One of the comments here, look at this comment right here on the YouTube video. They want us to believe that Charlie's neck was made of steel and the Twin Towers were made of neck bones. Got it. I mean, all right. September 15th. Army Colonel Scott Stevens suspended after social. Okay, not it. Candace Owens reveals Charlie Kirk's final warning text. According to the text, they are going to kill me. This message was reportedly sent on September 10th, just before Charlie Kirk was fatally shot. So, This is a lot. All right, let's get back to it. I can't open it while I'm live because I have my live stream window open, JR. So I will, well, let me see, maybe. I don't know if I can. Let's try. My DMs. Oh, I think I can get it open. Yay. All right. So who sent me? JR Devin. Okay. Da, da, da. There you are. Okay. So I don't think I can play it. I can't play it because I can't get it in the window. So I'll have to look at it after the show is done. I'm sorry, JR.
He said there would have been no record for this if they didn't
Hey, Mike.
swarm me
How you doing, hon?
as if there was a bomb threat, because now, of course, there is an actual incident report, and he believes that this can be FOIA requested. And that report number, if you will bear with me, I'm going to read that.
Production, if you'd like to come and set up my Instagram view so I can play an Instagram video, that would be really helpful
to you all, because I think this is going to take really the whole world to investigate.
I got a migraine.
It is 8611-2025-M.
All right, so we just looked all that up.
446. So that is the report number that was given to him by this Captain Commander Neff. And like I said, he has given me I could have just put up documents upon documents certifying that he was there, certifying that this happened, whether or not his descriptions and whether or not the people that he thinks he actually saw at this base, I don't know. What I will say is that something that I could easily
But the
have
government
done was
is never going to confess to this. And I really worry for her safety.
to see whether or not I asked him, did you see Dan Flood? No. Well, that checks out because Dan Flood was with Charlie.
Backwater, I'll probably
Korea.
get on late tonight, yes.
And I am wondering about that. Like, why would you want to go to Japan a day before?
Is on the show tonight, I will play JR's video that he sent me. I appreciate the content. Thank you, JR. I really encourage my viewers to send me content. Don't just send me a video. You need to, in the message with the video, say what it's about, and because I'm not going to watch it. So you need to give me a description of what it's about so I can filter through what I want sent to production, because I only watch the first 3 to 10 seconds of a video. So any video that, in fact, you should just join my channel on Instagram. I have a channel. So you can actually go in there and post. Actually, no, I don't think you can post in that. The subscribers send me stuff and they get priority. So if you want priorities, please subscribe to my channel. It's in my inbox. No, it's in my inbox. No, it isn't. This is yours. So I can open it up here. Okay, and then the video is right here. Yeah. Jesse D. Yeah. So that's the video. So I actually have to hit accept his message. And then I go here to general, and then I can send it to you. Why is it not? Okay, so now I can send it to you. There we go. All right. All right, JR. Production came through, so here we go. Let's play that video. All right, JR, here's your video. Blake Neff and War Games. The camera's facing over there. All right, I'm just going to play some of the YouTube while you do that.
You have a college campus event, right? You have Charlie on the 5th and on the 6th of September. He is in Korea doing an event. And then on the 7th, he's in Japan, and he is on CNN News Japan speaking. And so, yeah, like on the 8th, if that's when he left, maybe he left on the 9th, you got a 12-hour flight back home. And I have questions, and somebody out there knows something, and I don't know what to say other than this feels right. This feels right to me. This feels to me, as we were speaking about yesterday, about global trafficking and cartels and the government involved in this somehow and implicated in this somehow.
I am giving up vaping. I'm just not doing it cold turkey. I suffer from migraines, so I just have been weaning myself off very slowly. I'm too stressed out to go cold turkey with everything that's happened with my family. But I'm doing it little by little, I believe her safety is at risk too, because the government's never going to admit to this, even though she's caught them now red-handed. And it's the only way the government's going to be accountable is if we get loud and fucking noisy, y'all. Come on. Why can't you guys seem to... We need to be loud as a collective. That's fine. That's good enough for now. It's only one video. I gotta hurry.
Turns out that TPUSA's Blake Neff is not just some innocent media guy that worked for Tucker Carlson before he worked for Charlie Kirk, but he was actually a war games specialist for the U.S. Marine Corps War College from 2016 to 2020. His job, facilitating high-stakes simulations with colonels and lieutenant colonels.
I've seen her
now,
before.
remember how TPUSA told Candace Owens, you can come in our studio at this date and this time to confront all the claims you made about Charlie Kirk without checking her availability? Well, it turns out that's a known technique of a war game strategist.
I told y'all attorneys do it too.
That way they can always say, we invited her, we set the time, she refused to appear.
Lie.
Starting to look like Blake Neff might not be so innocent after all.
I never thought he was.
What do you think? Is this just one big fat coincidence that one of TPUSA...
Nope. We know TPUSA that the government wanted their hands on it. Israel wanted it as their property so they can go and convert Christians to Judeo-Christians. And yeah. I don't know. I haven't spoken to my child, Kelly. I pray every day she contacts me. I doubt that she will. And thank you very much, Kelly, for asking. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And guys, stick with me because at the end, I will be announcing a fan of the show, fan of the day, whatever you want to call it. And you will get my signed copy of my show notes.
In ways that we don't quite understand, but that we know involves the highest possible levels of corruption, that this feels right. And like I said, he is not hiding. He is done hiding. He has been silenced for 35 years. Running from his life.
He's gonna come
and
on
being
and
gaslit
talk
about that, in the same way that I am being gaslit about that. And I have a very terrifying update for you regarding people that have been trying to assassinate me. And
oh my God.
Speaking to him was, I guess, like emotionally qualifying because exactly what he's been going through, I've been going through. He didn't have the platform to be able to get his name out. And I said to him, like, do you want to come out? And he said, yeah, I've been silent for 35 years. He said, I watch your stuff and I can't believe that you got this email. And I said to him, the chances of me seeing this were basically slim to none. And it was the first email that was in my box and I just called you. And I feel God moving in that.
Yeah.
And despite the, just
if you
the
think she's
utterly
crazy
demonic
still, you just
and
choosing
satanic
that.
action.
You're choosing that because the truth makes you too uncomfortable.
That
You're not a warrior if you run from the truth because it hurts. Warriors want the truth, especially if it's the kind of truth that's going to hurt. You better fucking tell me the truth. And if you think she's fucking lying at this point and just wanting attention, you are outside of your gourd and you are selfish and you are a terrified turd.
had to take place for 9/10 to happen. I do also know, as I have always known spiritually, that they wouldn't get away with it. And I think Charlie, whatever vision he had, in which he knew his life would be short, and which he knew that I would not let this go.
I'm telling you,
because I
it's
somehow
divine.
feel tied to it, and we're seeing more and more every day that somehow I am tied to this. I think that this is God operating. I really do.
Yes, it is.
Bless this man. Thank you so much for your service to this country.
Now you're saying thank you.
I know that he wants to. He said he would love to
say
meet
that
Ian
before
Carroll,
to military
and,
people
I
because
guess
you don't
he's
like
watching
war.
his stuff, and I will obviously make that happen and much more in the coming days. I don't expect the feds to reach out. I don't expect them.
I think she now has learned all of it. She has tied this up, buttoned it up. Thank God for those good-hearted people who've been snitching on the corruption and the evilness to her. And I think she has completely solved it. And we'll never get the admission from Kash Patel, from Dan Bongino, from Tulsi Gabbard. Because why? Israel and France. Which, by the way, France, you do realize they founded our FBI, right? They're the founders of our FBI. That was we will help you get free from Britain, but we need to be in charge of this.
them to be interested in this angle or this potential meeting that I think they probably already knew about. I do hope, though, that somebody else saw something. And
well, the good thing now,
somebody will,
Chris, is if they do that, all of this has now been put out into the zeitgeist. It's on her channel. It's now on my channel permanently. And it just needs to, you guys got to share my videos so it gets out and it gets far reaching, because then it'll be too big of a cleanup task for them because too many of us know.
knows the quickest way.
And we should go to
FOIA
Congress
request
and
that
demand
stuff. Somebody
answers.
knows how to get behind this so we can get information. I've given you the dates. I've given you the times. He has given so much more. And I know I just...
If Gene Simmons can ask for a congressional hearing on the music industry and AI and the music industry stealing money from us as artists and paying us pennies for our work, she can get in a meeting in front of Congress. And you know what? I might just email her to help her because I have friends in Congress and I think I need to start helping in the way I can help. And she needs to get in front of a committee. And yeah.
I just thank God that I saw that email. We're going to pause there. And if you guys know anything, obviously email us at moretips@candaceowens.com. And we'll get through some sponsors that we are grateful for. All right, you guys, this holiday season, meeting that he stumbled upon. And yeah, that's that meeting that he stumbled upon. Okay, thank you guys who are correcting me in the chat. I am obviously very new to military terms, so you guys are saying it should be E5s and E6s. And he said that these are lieutenant colonels and colonels, and that it was a big brass meeting. He estimates that there were 12 to 13 lieutenant colonels that were in that meeting that he stumbled upon.
Jesus.
And yeah.
Isn't that funny, the number? How many apostles were there? 12 apostles of Jesus. And if you realize what Jesus was saying, he's the 13th apostle of the divine. He was trying to get people away from the religious leaders and point them directly to the divine, to the source of all life. So, interesting number, right?
That's that. I'm going to leave that there. On that same note, though, however, I have no words, and I'm going to try to find them here for
really feel for
emails
her
I did not expect to receive
really do.
yesterday. Right after I spoke with him.
You're not wrong, JR, but there are white hats in there.
Tips inbox. And obviously yesterday we spoke
John.
about this Pierre in Scottsdale. And
John, you have to message producer Ryan because you won fan of the show last night. So I need to send you my signed copy of my show notes if you want them. It might be worth something one day.
I had mentioned that he had a partner. Pierre Falcone had a partner named Arkady Gaydamak. Didn't expect that to be relevant to anything, but they were both involved in Angola Gate, which was global trafficking at the highest levels of government. But this Arkady Gaydamak didn't show up for his court hearing, and he just was sentenced in absence for trafficking weapons, et cetera, et cetera. I explained to you that he was born in Russia, and then when Israel became a nation, he was first over there. He was also factually, and you can see in this article, a French intelligence agent. Okay. Why am I bringing up Gaydamak? Well, after yesterday's episode, I had asked if anybody had anything or knew anything about, Turning Point potentially working with this Pierre person. I was shocked when a flutter of emails came in from people saying that they believed Gaydamak was living in Nashville, that he moved here sometime in June. Okay. And when I say a flurry of emails that came in, there were 7 people, mostly men, who were certain that that man, aged now, is working in Nashville using the name Jonathan Schmidt. They are certain, at the very least, that he is from Israel and that he is working for a company known as Root Brands under the guise of being a technology officer, and that he is has brought in and secured jobs for Ukrainians. And again, this has all transpired since apparently June. Ukrainians who he alleges are running from the war. They say he was brought in by a businessman in town named Clay Thomas, and that one of the Ukrainians that is working with him, his name is Alex Smirnov. Now, I don't know what to say other than I am positively terrified.
That's a Russian name.
I don't know who to contact, considering the feds.
Right.
I've been telling them that there's an assassination attempt in coordination. I have said Israel, I have said France, and now I have dealt with, I have these emails, more credible information. And if it's incorrect, I'm happy to correct it. I reached out to Clay Thomas. I have reached out to Root Brands, and I have requested more information about this Russian Israeli employee who is using the name Jonathan Schmidt and bringing in Ukrainians. And so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to publicize this information in the hope that if you are a Tennessean and you live in Franklin and you live in Nashville and you are familiar with Root Brands and you have seen this man, and Skylar, I don't know if we have an aged photo of him, but we should try to find one. Please, first off, you should probably contact the authorities. I certainly will be doing that. I think my husband has already done that. I told him to do that this morning. I have definitively run that to the only office that has responded, and I think taken my threat, or has wanted to respond, I should say, to the threat that I've been saying about the French intelligence agencies working with Israel. And that is Tulsi Gabbard's office. I am doing everything that I can, but I am telling you that this is very scary. And if you are in Tennessee, anything, if you know this Jonathan Schmidt and you've seen him around town, if you're a real estate agent, they said he was shopping for a home in the Brentwood area. If you have seen this individual anywhere in Nashville,
oh my God,
for the love of God, please send us an email, moretips@CandaceOwens.com. And I am encouraging you to contact your authorities if you are hearing any sob stories from anyone about how they're coming in from Ukraine and that they're fleeing the war, okay? I think you should contact the authorities immediately. We don't need to have a presence of Ukrainians that are quote unquote fleeing the war in Tennessee. And, I trust the Tennesseans to get this done and to pay attention. And I want to say this, by the way, everywhere in America, I've heard there's a major influx of Ukrainians, quote unquote, fleeing that are building up in Washington. That is something to be worried about, you guys. That is something to be very concerned about, okay? Because it is during wars where the most dangerous people are allowed into other countries under the guise of being refugees. That is how they take over other countries.
Yep.
And you need to keep your eyes and your ears peeled for how these Ukrainian, quote unquote, refugees are organizing. I don't think there's a reason for any Israeli intelligence and French intelligence officers to be here in Nashville. So again, if you know something, please email us moretips@candaceowens.com.
She needs to
if
fucking leave the state.
For the local FBI department, you should have been hearing from us, but if you would like to directly contact us, please email us. We will be looking out.
Wow.
And like I said, Root Brands apparently who has hired this individual under the guise of working under a technology officer. He's supposed to be a billionaire, so why would he be working at all? If this is the correct individual, I'm not buying the name Jonathan Schmidt. I will say that for an Israeli who should be living in Tel Aviv, and I do not believe he's legally allowed to be in this country. So at the very least, perhaps also if you're watching this and you are an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent, please get involved. I will have more for you hopefully in the coming days, but this is very scary. Very scary.
Get you.
And I was always telling the truth about the coordination of an assassination attempt, which involved Israel and French intelligence agency.
The fucking Proud Boys to fucking go up there and freaking watch her back. I'm telling you, Proud Boys, if any of you are listening, please, this is Luna Lopez asking you to care about her. I need to, you guys, seriously, because she wants to get a whole entire new security team, because realizing what happened with Brian Harpool, she said she needs to get security people who are her own friends, people she selects. The Proud Boys is the only people I know how to ask, that I know who to ask. And you guys know who they know. I'm asking you, please, the way you were there for me when I was going through what I was going through, please, somebody, for me, one of you, please, make contact with her and set up a perimeter for her, please.
Now, on that note, I am obviously taking a lot of personal risk to get out the truth to you guys pertaining to what is happening to Charlie Kirk. One of the easiest things
she's
in
in
the
too
world
deep.
is to be
She
a critic
has
of
to
Candace
now.
Owens and a part of the people who do not have the courage to prod this federal narrative. Among those, of course, being Tim Pool, who has now dedicated hours and now is trying to signal to the public that I don't have security, which is untrue, but he is trying to get me harmed. I don't know what I've ever done to Tim Pool to deserve that at all. But Tim Pool has had some very choice words for me, which were trending last night on X. And I would like to share that to you because he thinks it's an act of bravery to attack me in this moment. So take a listen to Tim Pool.
Candace Owens is a f***ing evil scumbag.
Okay,
She
before we
is
get
a
into this, let me respond to JR. Yes, and that is what my family actively participates in, is local militias. If you don't have one in your neighborhood, start one. Start a prepping group in your neighborhood, a prepping page, so you guys can share resources and protect each other. Tim Pool, it's going to be really obvious what's going on with Tim Pool when you listen to this. Because Tim Pool got shot at yesterday because of this bullshit, because of their evilness.
Degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security.
Gloating and smiling while she does
deal with
it.
the shit we
This
have to
is
deal with. She's a
fucking
piece of
crazy. She hasn't smiled. She doesn't look happy. She looks heartbroken, and she's keeping a fucking poker face on. Mr. Badger, Florida's right there with you, man. We're right there but with you guys. Florida and Texas, we a lot alike.
She's making everyone else suffer, and all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages.
No, I wouldn't ask the range.
Balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
What?
Yeah, that was the...
What? What the fuck does she do to you? She didn't do shit to you. She never calls you out. You are actually the one asshole. It's all over her.
Done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two no one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one
Wonder
fat
who's
guy,
paying him.
and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got
Dude, quit being a pussy then. Go fucking handle it. If you got shot at, if fucking anybody dares come shoot at me in my house, you will be a dead motherfucker. I promise you. You will be a dead motherfucker. I don't care if it's one fucking bullet. I got babies in this house. I will fucking shoot you dead if you come shooting up my house.
strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
How the fuck are you supposed to sell this property? Go be a fucking man and handle your shit. How about shut your fucking mouth? You're acting like a girl. Number one, flipping the fuck out like that in public. Like, what are you doing? Your ovaries are showing. And go handle your fucking business, sir.
A lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is not a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen.
Yeah.
Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy. Secondly, Tim Pool,
because Candace actually has class, and that's the thing is, if you actually watch her, you'll see real quick everybody's fucking flipping out on her, and you'll see who's being paid by Israel to shut the fuck up. You'll see who's being paid by the establishment to make you hate her, because if you're watching her, there's no way you can say anything bad about her other than this is a woman whose fucking best friend got fucking murdered in the neck on TV for everyone to see in front of his children, and she wants to know fucking why. And I don't fucking blame her for asking questions, because the narrative the FBI put out was a fucking lie. So I don't blame her. And if you fucking hate her to this level like Tim Pool does, you're scared that whatever bullshit you've been taking part in is about to come out. That's what that panic is showing you.
Have the intellect to understand.
He doesn't want Candace
that we put him in the thumbnail
on his trail. He doesn't want Candace looking at what he's doing. That's why he's flipping the fuck out. But all he's doing is making her look at him more. Because now whatever you're involved with is going to come out now. Because you tripped balls. You tripped ever-loving balls.
No, because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being
I didn't make it this far last night in her
Charlie
video.
Kirk's assassination. So he thinks
I was
he's
just
being
stunned over the
you
Brian
accused-
Harpool stuff. And I was just like, I have to go to sleep now. It was like 5 a.m. So the rest of this video I'm watching with y'all.
Me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become,
That's what I was saying earlier.
that the time for that is now.
About how
So this little,
this is
and
what's going to
really
fix
this
us.
He's a small person.
Because if we pay
for
attention to
this,
her.
a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay?
Yeah.
Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's braving, is jumping on the side of what everyone else is doing. He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there.
Yes.
He should apologize. He won't. I don't care.
You don't need his apology, baby. Keep it moving.
He's now essentially trying out because he's under financial pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist to pay him, and they will. Okay, they will cut him a check, and I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy. But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you,
right,
about the Charlie Kirk narrative, I have not focused my content on you, and anytime your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man. Okay, you are behaving. Your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put $100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further $100K
Ryan.
in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids.
Yep.
Get your affairs in order
Yeah.
and stop blaming me, because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care about your midterms.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care about your next year midterms and whether or not the Republican Party is united. Okay. Because I don't want to stand next to people
Yes.
that would cover up Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I hope that I have made my point perfectly clear.
Yep.
We'll be back after a message from some of our sponsors.
Well, what do you guys think? I mean, what do we do now? What do we do now? We need to write to our senators. We need to write to our Congress people. We need to get a hearing on this. We need all of this out in the open. If Trump can declassify JFK, then declassify what the fuck just happened with Charlie, because you said you loved Charlie, Trump. Charlie loved you. So what are you doing? Epstein files and Charlie Kirk. We want to fucking know. Now. All of it. Because I know it's all related. All of it going on. Anyway, I have to let you guys go. I have to meet with a client in 15 minutes. And I will be back on later tonight for Thirst Trap News. We're going to do reaction videos. I really hope that you guys really see and understand now that she is not lying. She absolutely has been on the fucking trail the whole time. And now she has finally shown that Brian Harpool was meeting with a whole bunch of lieutenant colonels the day before Charlie was assassinated. She says after today, she doesn't know how this leads to anything other than a full confession from the government about their involvement with Charlie Kirk's assassination. And we want to know why. What plan was this part of? We want to know why you did this. It's just not so much that I believe that they'll change anything, Congress and Trump. It's about getting access to the white hats that are in the position of power. And you have to be loud and you have to walk around with that bullhorn, speaking on it all the time, like the crazy people you see on the corners with their bullhorn saying, you know, Armageddon's coming. Like, we have to be an evangelical spirit over this. We need to be proselytizing over the truth about what happened. Yes, this is probably another JFK thing, but if you listened to my monologues this last week, I've been talking about rebellion and revolution and what we need to do. So we're going to keep talking about that, and tonight we'll talk about it more. So if you want to hear further my thoughts on holding our government accountable and a revolution in America only, come back and see me tonight. Sometime between 10 and 11 is usually when I get on. So yes, and unfortunately it is sad what happened with MTG. I wish she had the stamina to stay in the fight, but she may be able to fight in other ways. So I've learned that being in office, being the face of it isn't always the most beneficial. Having a position in politics in the background behind the curtain, you can be more deadly. So that's what I think. We're just going to have to get creative. We're facing a fucking demon. This is a gigantic demon machine. And there's a way to defeat it. And we just really need to turn to spirituality. And I think we need to manifest Armageddon. We need to keep thinking about what we're thinking about, talking about what we're talking about, saying that it's coming, because the more we say it's coming, the quicker it will come. And we need Armageddon. So, I love all of you very much. I bid you adieu till later on tonight. See you at 10.